And opening arguments begin in Los Angeles today for Harvey Weinstein on 11 new counts of rape and sexual assault.
Weinstein is already serving a 23-year prison sentence tied to similar charges he faced in New York State. The former Hollywood producer is now facing up to 140 years in prison for his actions involving 5 women in the Beverly Hills and Los Angeles area between 2004 and 2013. The 70-year-old has pleaded not guilty. Emily Baker joins us now. She's a legal analyst and former Los Angeles Deputy District Attorney. Emily, thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
So you spent over a decade in your previous role. What kind of case do prosecutors have this time around?
They have a strong case and quite a lot of witnesses. The law is also on their side in cases like this, where they not just get to bring in the alleged victims in this case, but they also get to bring in other accusers to show a pattern of behavior and prior and past bad acts. So there are 5 women who are listed as the accused victims in this case, but there's an additional 5 accusers who will also be testifying. So it will be a long trial, but I think the prosecution has a strong case here.
You know, we saw in the New York trial when Annabella Sciorra, I hope I said her name right, when she testified, you know, it was a very sort of important moment. And they kind of argued that, oh, you know, she was being used because of her star power to bring attention. Now we have another big name on this side of the country. Jennifer Siebel Newsom, the wife of California Governor Gavin Newsom, will testify that Weinstein assaulted her. How powerful is it to have a well-known name testify against him?
I think it could go both ways because this is not just someone who's a celebrity. This is politically related. So you have to be careful in jury selection to make sure that politics don't come into the perception of this alleged victim in this case based on how people might feel about Governor Newsom. But having big names come forward, I also think is powerful to other victims who want to come forward, showing that there is room to come forward and speak about things that have happened.
Of course, legally speaking in this country, things that a previous conviction in another case doesn't necessarily translate to anything in this case. But how is there anything that could factor in from the previous conviction?
Like showing a pattern of behavior or something like that?
Well, you've got the other accusers in this case to show that pattern of behavior. If he testifies, the New York conviction may come up. He seemed to want to testify in the New York trial. I'll be very interested to see if he testifies here. It might be there's no other pending cases other than the UK, and he might want to testify here. And if he does, that conviction can come up, but not the facts underlying that conviction.
So presumably, you know, prosecutors wanted to show some sort of pattern of behavior because they had more women that they wanted to testify. But the judge in the case excluded 10 women from testifying, including actors Daryl Hannah and Rose McGowan, who's been very outspoken about her interactions with him. What do you make of the judge's decision to not allow these women to testify?
The judge has a difficult job in balancing what's too much, making sure that it doesn't overweigh the evidence. And in that ruling, I was looking back at what the judge had said, and it was that some of the things were not within the jurisdiction of Los Angeles County. Some of the allegations were too old. So the judge narrowed that down to 5, which when you have 5 alleged victims and then 5 previous accusers, it seems to be striking that balance between what is too much and what is fair, not more prejudicial than probative. And that's something that the judge has to balance. So I can understand that, not allowing it to become a trial where there are more past bad acts than there are actual charges in this case.
That makes sense.
Really interesting. Emily Baker, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Have a great morning.
You too.